Hey ladies, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make something move in Photoshop. This is going to be using the animation toolbar down here. To get your animation toolbar, please go to Windows and make sure there's a check next to animation, and that'll bring up your animation bar. I'm going to show you how to do it using this version. You can also use a timeline, but I'm not very familiar on that way. I've only been playing around with that for a couple of days, so I don't want to show you anything unless I am for sure on how to make it work. So let's just stick with the original default here. So I made this little snail here. Actually, Photoshop made it. I just used one of their custom shapes and dragged him out and whatnot. But we want to make him move across the screen, and to do that, click on his layer and make sure your move tool or V is selected, and just hold down shift and drag him off of the screen. And that will be your frame number 1. And let's create frame number 2 by clicking on this other little paper thing down here. And in this frame, I want him to be all the way over here, so I'm going to hold shift and drag my little snail all the way to the other side. And I don't want him to just stop on the screen, I want him to completely leave it. So to do that, I just pulled him off. And notice it's 2 blank frames, and if you left it like that, obviously nothing happened. But this cool magical tool called the tweening tool will make it'll fill in all of those little frames, so you didn't have to do it by hand. All you do is hold down shift, we'll click on one of your frames, hold down shift, click on the other frame, hit your tween tool, and for this one it doesn't matter, you can leave all 3 of them checked, or you can just have the position checked. And I'm going to add 10 frames because I don't want him to zoom across the screen. I want him to he'll probably go pretty fast going even 10 frames. Just remember, the more frames you have on your animation, the longer load time it will take, and the longer it will take to save it. So just be aware of how many frames you're using. And click OK. And notice how each frame he comes out a little bit more. So if I was to click on frame 1 and I hit the play button, notice how fast he's zooming across the screen there. And if I had wanted him to go slower, I would have chosen more frames to tween it with. I could have done like 30 frames. One thing that I do notice that a lot of designers do that makes it look horrible is they think, oh, that's too fast, so they're going to add time, make each frame stay up a little bit longer, and what that's going to do is make lag. So let's say you select all your frames and you want to slow it down, and each frame will display for 0.2 seconds. Okay, so go back to frame 1 and click play, and notice how it stays on there for a little bit longer. And you can do that with any frames. If I just wanted to choose this frame and I wanted him to stay on for a whole second, and none of the other frames, all the other ones would stay, and he stops in, then he keeps going. The little times down here, those are awesome to work with, and so is the tween tool. So that's how you get something to move across your screen. I think I'll end this tutorial, and then I'll do a tutorial for what each one of those tweening options do with the position, opacity, and effects. So let's just end it there. And remember, you can use this, that's just a generic moving. Like if you've looked at any of my layouts, I will have usually tons of things that pop up and stuff. You want to make sure that you have your entire layout or all your graphics laid out to where you want them to be, and then move them off the screen and have them be introduced one by one down here in your animation. So I'm just showing you the very basics. What you can add to it is all up to you. So I hope you enjoyed that.